I have to apologize to Joel Gray because I was out in Centerville touring the homes and rushing down here to meet the star of George M. You did a great job last night, Joel.
Thank you. It was a great audience.
They really were responsive, weren't they?
Fantastic.
Well, they love you. They liked you in Cabaret, and I think they love you even more in George M.
That's what somewhat confounds me, because the character in George M. is, I think, somewhat difficult. I mean, he's arrogant and brash and cocky and very much at odds with his world, and yet the audience accepts him, and that makes me very, very happy, in that they can see that beyond the bravado and all that cockiness is a man who's quite troubled.
He has a great heart, but he's troubled inside.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to make it come together.
Now, what did you do in the way of research to do the role of George M.?
Well, I read everything I could about him. I had extensive conversations with remaining members of his family, and I found out well, as much as you can. It's always somebody else's opinion. The real facts about him, which were quite different from what I had come to grow up with in terms of Yankee Doodle Dandy, a brilliant film, and one of my favorite actors, James Cagney, but that was a sugar-coated version of the man's life and didn't deal with the real facts at all.
It was kind of sad, wasn't it, in the play when they talked about Mr. Broadway and they said, there goes what's-his-name?
That's the way it happened, too. I mean, George Cohan thought that he would always be top dog, the lights would never go out, and they did go out, and he had some flops towards the end of his life, and he walked out on the Actors Union, and most of his friends turned against him, and he died of cancer. I mean, it was so...
and Josie died, too, didn't she, the sister?
Yes, and many people have talked about the fact that the musical starts out very high and then kind of goes downhill. Well, I think it goes downhill dramatically on purpose, because that's the way his life went.
But I wasn't sad when I left the theater last night.
Well, no, we didn't. We don't end the show on a sad note. We ended at a place where he's about to make a comeback and be a tremendous success all over again. And I hope that the audience feels that maybe he is going to make it again.
Well, I felt that way
good.
last night with Agnes, and they were singing.
Isn't she marvelous?
Oh, she's just great.
She's a delightful actress.
We've been talking about George M. Let's talk about Joel Gray. Joel's from Ohio. You're from Cleveland, aren't you?
Cleveland-born.
Cleveland-born. How about your wife?
She's Brooklyn-born.
Now, Joel's wife isn't with him. She will be here this weekend, though, won't
Yes,
you?
yes.
And you went to New York, and you had a little celebration out there.
Well, I had 24 hours off between Cleveland and Dayton, so I flew to New York so that we could spend our 13th wedding anniversary together. That's important.
That's pretty good, Joel.
Well, I don't know.
Huh? No. What do you do now? Do you have to spend a lot of time apart?
More than I like.
Of course, now she was in the theater too, so she probably is understanding.
Well, she's totally understanding. It's really, I think, difficult on both of us and on the kids, but that's the nature of this business.
How are the kiddies? I remember they were here last year.
Growing.
Yes. What ages now, Joe?
Jenny is 11 now, and Jim will be 7 in September, and they're nice kids.
What do they like to do? They want to go into the theater like you?
They think so, but I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of time.
Joel, what do you have coming up? Any big, exciting news?
Well, I just spent 3 months in Munich with Liza Minnelli making the film for ABC and Allied Artists of Cabaret. And I think it should be a very tough, raunchy, and exciting motion picture, and it'll be out right after the first of the year.
She's a hard worker, isn't she?
Oh, Liza's fantastic. She's a total pro, but really a delightful person.
This will be out when?
Right after the first.
Now, what will you do after you go to Columbus and George M.?
Then we go to Indianapolis with George M.
You're still going to be on tour.
And then go to Kansas City, Atlanta, and St. Louis for Cabaret.
Oh, that's great. And then back to New York.
Then we go off to a vacation on an island, just the family and myself.
You have any special islands you can tell us about? You don't want it to be too public.
It's inhabited, is all I can tell you.
Well, you have to get away, Joel, because I know your schedule is hectic.
Well, that's important. Private time. We make that very much a necessary part of our lives.
Will you take the kiddies out of school? Do you believe in this?
I do. The schools don't. I would have taken the kids for the entire trip to Munich, but the schools were very strict about it, and we just didn't feel like jeopardizing their present good work. But I don't know that we were right. I'm having second thoughts about it now.
Well, how about private tutors? Would they have accepted that?
No. Wouldn't have accepted anything. I think our school system is about to undergo radical change, as is so much of our present society.
Do you believe in public schools or private schools?
I believe in good education.
Good education.
Wherever you can get it.
I'm with you. I know there aren't a lot of tickets available, but there are still a few for George M., and I hope that everyone will have an opportunity to see this fantastic performance.
I think the thing that would be fun, I think there are just a few tickets left for George M.'s birthday, which is Sunday.
The 4th of July.
But I guess a lot of people are going to be going away, but whoever's staying around, come celebrate Georgie's birthday with us.
You know, I don't think as many people are, Joel, because
I hate
the
to travel
highways, the highways are hectic, so I think a lot of folks are.
Just come, let's have a big birthday party Sunday.
This really wasn't his birthday. He kind of cheated, didn't he?
Well, I can cheat if he cheated.
But there are two matinees at 12:45 on Saturday.
2:45. 12:45, I'll be sleeping.
You'll be sleeping. Don't come at 12:45. No. Come at 2:45 on Saturday and
Sunday.
Then 7:30. Listen, I enjoyed having coffee with you here at Henry's, and you put cream in there. I'm supposed to be a Weight Watcher. Do you have to watch your weight, Joel?
Sure.
Do you?
Absolutely.
What do you eat? Any tips for us?
No. I just like to eat good things that are fresh and not canned, and fresh orange juice.
But you have to limit yourself.
Lots of vegetables and fruits. Yeah, because I'd eat bread all the time if I had my druthers.
Oh, me too. But you don't eat bread.
I don't eat bread much unless I'm splurging.
Unless you're on vacation.
Something like
that. On that island he's going to go to. Thank you, Joel Gray. Come back and see us next year.
Thank you. I will.